Welcome to In It to Win It. This is Steve Barton, and thank you for tuning in. We are back with Jeff Clark, thegoldadvisor.com. Jeff, thank you for coming back on the show.
I'm glad to be here, Steve. Thanks for grabbing me.
I always love seeing you. We seem to attend all the same conferences. Yeah. It's good to see you again. Go ahead and maybe just give any thoughts that come on your mind about the gold or silver market. What's Jeff Clark been studying lately?
The first thing you and I both have noticed is how crowded this conference is. Every talk is standing room only. They don't have enough room to seat everybody because the attendance is so strong. It's dramatically higher than it was at this conference last year.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Why are so many investors, looking at junior mining stocks right now? So I love it. It's great. Does it portend something bigger coming? We'll find out. But hey, one theme of my talk was we're in a bull market.
Yeah.
The bull market started leap year day last year. And we're running. So, this is a time to make sure that you're long. And like Rick Rule said in his talk, there's no excuse. You can't make $1 million in this market over the next 5 years. I agree. I think we're going to see a very strong bull market before this is all over, and some very nice gains in some mining stocks.
Yeah. One thing that we've noticed is that gold has had a really nice run since we hit that triple bottom at 1615. We've since run up all the way up to 2801, I believe is the official number, and then come back down. We're within spitting distance of that now.
Yeah.
What do you see macro right now as far as the gold market and how it pertains to your specialty, the juniors?
On the macro side, everybody talks about the debt, and it's a real concern. There's no way to resolve it. It's going to be ugly when it does blow up, or however this happens. There's no politician out there that's going to be responsible with the debt and how to manage it right now. So that's one issue. But the great thing about gold is it's a crisis hedge against anything, whether it's debt or something unforeseen. Did you know that 50% of all the crisis over the past 50 years since the 70s were actually black swans?
No.
Nobody was predicting it. A few saw the great financial crisis, but nobody saw COVID. And look what happened.
Yeah.
So that's the great thing about gold is it's going to hedge you against whatever comes your way. You don't have to predict what that crisis might be.
Yeah.
You just need to own a sufficient amount of gold to get through it. And that's a key point. And when gold runs, the stocks will eventually run. A lot of people don't know this, but gold stocks actually did underperform gold in 2024. But since the bull market started, GDX has actually outperformed gold, and GDXJ has outperformed GDX. So it's happening. It's here, and there's going to be ups and downs, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But we're in a bull market. You must be long.
Okay. Now tell us a macro view on silver and the silver stocks.
Well, I think Peter Kraut came over to us when we bought Gwen Preston's newsletter business. So he's running everything silver, goes through Peter. But I'm obviously a very strong bull on silver as well. Silver will outperform gold before it's all over. It trailed gold last year. But again, that's very typical. That's what we see. Silver lags, gold leads, and then silver outperforms. So I expect that to happen as well. You want to be long silver, and the most quality names that you can find, obviously. When that happens, I think it's like gold. It could be anything that ignites it. As I've documented many times, silver is very spiky.
Yeah.
It's boring, boom. That's how its price goes. So that'll happen at some point. My guess is there'll probably be some sort of monetary event, as opposed to, industrial use.
Some industrial demand.
Right. That's going to keep going up. That's good. That supports the price. But what's going to cause it to explode is going to be something else. I think it'll be something financial, monetary, something like that. But you know what? Again, I don't need to guess what it's going to be or when it's going to happen. I just need to be long. So I'm long silver and definitely long silver mining stocks.
Okay. what is the average all-in sustaining cost for these gold miners if you were to put them all into one miner? And what is the average all-in sustaining cost of silver miners if you were to put them all into?
There is that documentation out there. We don't have 2024 numbers yet until they all report in Q1, which will be coming up soon. But for gold, it's probably around $1,400 all-in sustaining costs. So at $2,700 gold, you've got a pretty substantial margin for most companies on average. For silver, there's a lot of silver producers out there that unfortunately are not making money. And they should be, but they are beholden to a very volatile, spiky silver price. And so that's going to affect them. So you want to make sure you're focusing on companies that are making money or can make money, or juniors that are going to make a discovery.
So what would you say it is for silver? Is it around 29, 30 bucks? Is it on the lower end?
I haven't seen the latest stat on that. It'll be out in Q1. We'll have Q4 numbers. 2024 numbers coming up soon. But I think, on average, they are around $30 an ounce.
Really? Okay, that's much higher than I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, the average is dragged up by some that are, not
40 or something.
not very profitable. And it may be 28 in that range, 28 to 30. So they should be making money though, and unfortunately most are not.
Okay. Now, piggybacking off that, most of them are not making money. You, thegoldadvisor.com. I'm a subscriber there. What are your, if you give out a little teaser here, what's one or two of your favorites?
So I have to mention first that yesterday they were talking here, AMARC resources in the Gold Advisor portfolio rose in one day, believe it or not, 171% on a copper hit they reported in the morning. And that's obviously what we're looking for, is a big discovery with a junior like that.
Yeah.
That was a good bet because they had a lot of money for exploration. They had big partners, and they were drilling a lot of holes in very highly prospective copper areas in BC, known to have copper. And it was backed by Bob Dickinson. It's one of his companies. So this was a very good bet. Now, I didn't know the stock was going to hit like that.
Yeah.
But the odds of a discovery were higher than maybe the average because of all that they had going for them. So it's actually, believe it or not too late to buy that stock. I would obviously wait for a dip. Don't chase it. But this is one hole, well, it's three holes, but one that really, really ignited the stock and got investors excited. They have dozens and dozens of holes yet to report. There's millions and millions of dollars being spent there and will be spent in 2024, the 2025 drilling season. So that's going to be a good one to go. And then another one real quick, a silver one, we actually graduated from our paid letter into the Gold Advisor, is Outcrop Silver. That's one you might want to take a look at. I did a huge report, the biggest report I've ever done on a company, because I went there to the site and visited. I spent a week in Colombia, got all their projects with management and everything. I'm convinced that is a high quality company with strong odds to continue to grow that deposit from what is now 37 million, I believe is the number. I think they're going to go to 100 over the next 2 to 3 years.
Wow. Okay.
So I really like Outcrop Silver.
Okay. So that's two for us, for the listeners there. Your book, Paydirt, I like this one a lot. You wrote this during COVID, and basically you, give us the clip notes on.
Well, basically, the idea of writing a book came up because a lot of people kept asking me. I give out a pick at a conference or something, and why did you like that one? Why don't you like that one?
Yeah.
But I was too busy.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit and kind of lost that excuse.
Yeah.
So I turned the nightlight on and started writing. And 2.5 years later, with multiple drafts, we hired an editor. It was a big I put a lot into it. Let's put it that way. But I'm very proud of it. Someone can take that book and they'll be 90% ahead of the industry, I promise, because there's a lot in there, everything you need to know. And I interviewed 17 other experts and put their opinions in the book too, what they look for to identify a winning mining stock, all the way from the Rick Rolls of the world to geologists you've never heard of. So it's just packed full of information and lots of examples, a whole chapter of examples of investors who have hit pay dirt with their stocks.
Nice. Yes, this is basically a 101 on how to pick winning mining stocks. So I'd recommend it. I've read it, and it's great, simple, easy to read, and a lot of information in there.
And it starts off with the scariest mine I've ever been in. So the intro's pretty fun. So hoping you're not claustrophobic.
That would be terrifying. I don't know if I could do that. Well, thank you very much, Jeff, for coming back on the show.
Be in it to win it. I think that's a good theme for the gold and silver market right now.
It is, and I think it's perfect timing. So thank you, Jeff, for coming back on the show, and thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out Jeff's work in the notes down below. There'll be a link to his website and a link to his book. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to support the show and share this with anyone that you think needs to hear it. It's probably your buddy that can't stop talking about tech stocks. You have yourself a great rest of the day, and we will talk to you next time.